Welcome to the New Creators Podcast, episode 29. You may have noticed that we did not have an episode for June, and that is for one reason, which is
Perrin.
the fact that we... Actually, that's not true. It's for multiple reasons.
It's literally
It's
my
for-
fault. It's just my fault.
Well, but it was a multitude of reasons. We had some major technical difficulties in regard to recording, and we were not able to come out with a final product that we thought was good enough to release due to Perrin's laptop running out of storage mid-recording,
Yeah.
and then followed by an Audacity crash that left his audio file unrecoverable.
Yup.
So we're back with the July episode instead. And we do have a small surprise for this month to make up for last month that we'll tell you a little bit more about towards the end of this episode.
Engagement.
But we are back. We are back. And
my computer has enough storage
here
this
to-
time. So
Yeah.
fingers
yes,
crossed.
and Perrin's cleared up 36 gigabytes of storage on his
that
Mac.
should be plenty,
So-
right? That should be enough.
I don't know. There's a lot of
no,
yapping.
this episode's gonna go for 12 hours,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna run out of storage.
Dang it.
We still need to do the
Shit,
24-hour
this-
episode. 24-hour
We do.
TNT
Hey,
episode.
You don't know how down I am. Let's get like a million,
Let's get every single
20
person
guests,
who's ever been
and
a
like
guest.
every hour,
Rotate
like
one
we'll
out.
put the hosts.
Mm.
We'll put the hosts on like sleeping cycles. Oh, I'm so down.
Man,
Beautiful.
Honestly, based on the time zone differences, it actually
I
could
feel
potentially
like
be doable,
for
which is really funny
entertainment
to me.
value, at some point in this 24-hour cycle, you have to have it's just me and Corbin unmoderated. No one else can bother us, and we're just yapping.
Absolutely
Oh,
not.
no.
Absolutely not. You couldn't pay me to.
Man.
Could not pay me
Oh,
to.
the shenanigans we'll get up to.
Oh, no. We can't let the worm juice win.
Worm juice.
The worm juice
is-
always wins.
No! Oh, God. But yeah.
Oh goodness. Okay. Well, let's not get too off topic. Why don't we go ahead and get started by Sean? Why don't you tell us what you've been up to?
All right, sure. So, first...
Oh, we got the finger guns.
Finger
going on
guns.
there.
Yeah, no one can see it, but I did that. I just know it felt right. It felt right, you know?
It did feel right. It did feel
Finger
right.
guns are
Yeah.
almost always right in most
Yeah.
scenarios.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
Just
true.
I've oozed confidence there. Anyway, so I've been working on Together, which was an old thing that we worked on Scratch. It was like a logo service where we gave away logos for free to people who asked. Basically, all three of us were in it. I ran it at the time. Together 2, which is the second iteration of it.
I was in it. I don't think I ever actually like built a logo for like anyone in it, but I was
You
technically
were
like,
there.
in it.
You were there.
You did for
I was there.
You definitely did for the first iteration of Together, if I recall
Yeah.
correctly.
I don't know if most people realize this, but most of my presence of Scratch was just me being there. Like
Yeah.
I did not really do anything. Like I was in OS Wars. Did I really do anything?
I
Not really.
designed like the entirety
I
of
was-
Orange OS, like for like I don't know what one it was.
I
Orange
was-
OS 6 or something.
I was technically in Design Duel, but only one of them one time, and I got through the first round, and that was it. Why do I have 1,800 followers?
Who
don't know.
knows? Scratch
Who knows?
is a
It's Scratch.
Scratch is an enigma.
It's your glowing personality, Micah.
So true.
So true. Jinx.
Anyway, but yeah, so what I did a while ago is I did a rebrand just for fun of the logo. I think this is almost like last year I did it, and I was quite happy with it. And then I can't remember what it was, but you must have like I think you like Perrin sent something in like my server that reminded you like use of like that logo, and somehow now
Yes.
like we basically decided, hey, what if we like made like a design kind of studio thing for like later on if we become like more seasoned designers. That'd be cool. So that's the thing we worked on. I think you made the mock-up for the website and then I kind of iterated on it. So I have no clue if we actually have moved on at all with it at all, to be honest. But it was pretty fun.
I have not. I haven't touched it. There was that one day I was like, oh, heck yeah,
Let's do it, yeah.
this.
And then
And then-
immediately
Genius,
afterwards,
guys.
And then I was like,
you know
no.
what?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
It's gonna be a running
That's-
theme this episode, I guarantee you.
We're gonna call this TNC episode 29 the Burnout.
The
episode.
Wow. Man.
the parents'
Burnout, just
laptop
like
ran
my
out of space
laptop,
episodes.
Goodness.
Oh, man.
All right, Sean. What else you been?
Uh,
BB6. I'm judging that. This is the 6th brand battle that I've judged because I can't keep myself from coming back.
You're required for the judging panel at this point.
Yeah,
it's not really brand battle if you're not judging. At this point.
They can't remove me at this point. I don't think. I think I've survived long enough now. But I think we've had it on the podcast before. It was Elsie. She's running this iteration as she won the last one, which you ran, Perrin. It was her entry was very good, and I am hyped for the new one. I believe it's the 19th of this month. Signups drop. Signups drop. And I swear, everyone listening to this right now better go and join, or else there will be problems.
There will be problems.
I will make Perrin's MacBook fill up to storage again so he can't record.
Please don't let this happen to me again. You have to join brand battle.
Perrin's MacBook is on the line here, all right?
Please, I'm hanging by a thread already.
But yeah, so that's July 19th. That's when signups open.
I'm searching.
So
I'm searching in vain for the Scratch account. Where on earth
it's
is it?
brand_battle6.
Okay, one thing. Can I comment on something real quick? One thing I love about Scratch competitions is that, number one, there's a need every year to have a separate account because giving someone an account is too difficult because you have to go outside of Scratch, which breaks me.
Thanks, Scratch.
Yep. Thanks, Mr. Scratch.
And so the result of that is the fact that like there's never a consistent naming scheme.
It's because name
for like
snipers,
any
dude.
accounts. It's because
Name
I think there's
snipers.
name
crazy.
snipes all the way up through Brand Battle 9. If I recall.
Pretty much.
I remember checking. There's a bunch. It's
Same with
insane.
Together. You know, like I made Together 2. There's now like Together 3. Someone sniped Together 3 and like all the other iterations of like the way you could write Together 2 as well. It's ridiculous.
I think often about how there was just OS Wars 1, and then there was OS Wars 2, then there's OS Wars 3, OS Wars 4, OS Wars 5, OS Wars 6, OS Wars 7, OS Wars X.
Yep.
Why?
Made sense. Well, how come Design Duel X was the 6th version of Design Duel?
I thought it was the 7th.
It was the 6th, I thought. One of the two. It's definitely
One of
not
the
10.
two.
It's not a 10th.
Yeah.
But
And then
just like the
also
iPhone.
the fact that there is another OS Wars X after that OS Wars
makes
X
sense.
called, but it was actually the 9th.
Yes.
I'm not kidding you. I'm like
Genius.
I'm referencing the OS Wars history
Man.
book right
Oh,
now.
I
Did they
love that. I
not?
love
It
it.
is
Man, they missed a golden opportunity to call it OS Wars X2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
yeah.
The
But
reawakening.
anyway, do y'all remember the year we had like a Star Wars themed OS Wars?
No.
What was that? When was that?
I think it was OS Wars 7, I want to say.
Oh, that was one after me, because I did OS Wars 6, I think. And that's the one
Man,
that I won
think-
in that team.
I think the only.
No, it wasn't 7.
I think the only OS Wars.
Let's just all go ahead and agree that OS Wars 5 was the best OS Wars.
I would not
Fair
know.
enough. I would not know. I wasn't around for that
I've
one.
never paid attention to any
Yes,
of them.
you were.
Well,
right?
wait, what year was it? Like, roughly?
2020.
Oh, 2020. I don't remember being in that one. I remember being in the net.
That was the year I was in Green OS.
Oh, right. So I was in the
And
one when you...
That was the year that Coruscant made the really really sick intro for Green OS.
Oh, yeah, I remember
That
that.
everyone was like, "What the heck is this? This is crazy."
Man.
Yeah,
The
because I've...
only-
And it was the one that had like the really complicated like the judging apps and stuff like that, were like these like really cool like cloud based interface.
All right. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one, actually, yeah. This is the one I think
Yeah.
Ekman ran, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Or
I think it was
Ethan.
Ekman and next. No, Ethan.
It was
did
Ethan,
run this.
yeah.
That's wild.
But it was also co-ran by
Oh wow,
someone else.
Dudmaster
See-
I don't remember
Ultra.
who it was.
Guys, do you remember Dudmaster Ultra? That's insane. He was like, man, this is gonna make me feel old, even though I'm like in the middle, slap in the middle between you guys in terms of age. But like, I was on Scratch. I joined in like 2013. Dudmaster Ultra was huge, like 2014, 2015. He was big. He was like an elder Scratch designer back in the day. So like,
Do y'all remember RDML?
maybe.
Vaguely, I think. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, they were a massive part of the actual functional part of Green OS too.
That's wild.
Green OS, that Green OS is great. And then the following year was the year that I somehow, by some cruel twist of fate, got chosen to lead OS Wars Red, which was just awful. So
Orange OS 1.
Anyway,
and I was the designer for it that year.
I'm so far off track.
Micah's the one doing the
fact
tangent for once.
That the previous year there was no Orange OS; it was just Amber OS.
I know. And then
Yeah,
they brought it back,
reason.
and then we won, baby.
Yeah, Blue OS. I still can't believe that Blue OS won that OS Wars, because they just should not have won that OS Wars. But
Man,
whatever.
We're creating so many enemies right now.
The only OS Wars that I was involved in, even for a little bit, I think was the first one. I think I joined Green OS for like 2 weeks, made like one concept design, and dipped because I had no clue what I was doing.
That's basically everyone in OS
This
Wars
was
ever.
like 26.
Wait, you're talking about OS Wars 1?
I believe so. I think it was the original one in 2016.
Dude. Oh, I was so jealous. I wanted to be part of OS Wars when I first joined Scratch so
Same.
bad.
I remember.
I
I remember trying to join Color Wars way back in the day, in like 2014.
Color Wars.
Color
Scratch.
Wars.
I missed the first one, but I tried to enter the second one, which was all the, again, gemstone theme. I think I tried to join Team Amber. I forgot. But yeah,
That's funny.
that was cool. That was a good time. Man, golden
Good times.
years.
Anyway, Scratch naming schemes are funny to me.
Very fun.
Indeed.
Didn't mean to get that far off track. Sorry.
I can't
derail
believe
What were you saying?
it, Micah. You're the
Man.
one that's mad. Keep
Micah
us from a
of
tangent.
everyone?
Now you're the one taking us to them.
I can't believe this guy.
But yeah, that's pretty
Man.
much all I had to say. Basically, Brand Battle 6 sign outs open 19th
It's cool.
July. Go and join, please, or else I already threatened, and I will do it.
Yeah,
Perrin's MacBook is on the line.
this is true.
Yep.
I will.
Yep.
Speaking of what I'm doing, I guess.
Let's just move on to Perrin.
Moving on to
Yeah, go ahead.
those. I will be joining Brand Battle 6 just for fun, because I like being involved, because it's a lot of cool branding exercises.
He likes battling
I
brands.
dude, I love a good brand. I love battling a good brand. Anyway,
I love a good brand.
I love a good brand. Anyway, so I feel like
Get brand.
you gotta. This is gonna keep
Brand.
No.
Brand
So-
ASMR.
Oh my god. So I don't know if
It's brand ASMR is just like Google, Facebook.
they're meta now.
That's actually meta.
Anyway.
Netflix.
Anyways. So I'm gonna join. I'm gonna join Brand
Microsoft. Samsung.
You can't keep doing this. Micah, no.
Logitech.
I can't keep doing this.
Get up.
This is gonna be the rest of the episode. Micah whispering brands every 5 seconds.
Lenovo.
The way you said Lenovo.
Panasonic.
God. Okay. Man. We're gonna have to ban Micah from his own podcast if he keeps this up. Anyway. I'm gonna be
Bing.
I'm going to be joining I'm gonna join the not the podcast. I can't even do this anymore. This is what you produce.
Ask Jeeves.
Oh my god. This is slightly better than worm juice, but not
Adobe.
by much. Okay. Are we done? You have that all out of your system? One more? Is that
Spotify.
Cool. We good? We done? Well, how much money do I need to Venmo you right now to stop?
Open AI.
Okay. Cool. No.
Horizon.
We've been doing this for a solid 2 minutes.
Yamaha.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm going to.
You can do it, Perrin. You can do it.
Okay, I'm gonna soldier through.
You're
it.
stronger than
I can't
both
break.
of us.
Okay, cool. Okay, as I was saying, I want to enter Brand Battle 6, but I already won Brand Battle 4, so I feel weird of having my I'm gonna ignore that. I feel weird having my entries actually count. So, I'd like to do it and then not have my, not take up a slot, I guess, if that's possible. So I'll just do that, and I don't care about winning anymore, because I already won, and someone else should win. It's their turn now.
Nike.
Cool. Great. Anyway, so that's Brand Battle 6. I'm also doing a bunch of other stuff. Right after we released the most recent episode, I shared this really big, grandiose, in-depth brand presentation for one of my football league teams. I've got the Boston Mariners, which I'm very happy with. It kind of sets the new standard for how detailed I want my brandings to be in the future. So,
and it's really good. Like it's
yeah.
Really
I went into a lot more detail with, my mock-ups and different kinds of application that I'd never done before. So it was a lot of fun, and I'm want to do more of that kind of branding for a lot of stuff going forward. I gained and lost inspiration for my NCAA uniform redesign project that I've been doing on and off, and then losing inspiration for after a couple weeks. This is the 3rd or 4th time I've done that now. So yeah, that was fun while it lasted, I guess. I'm also tinkering around with an idea for another Boston team, but for a different sport. I'm trying out a baseball brand idea right now that I've shared some ideas for. It'd be the Boston Blackcaps, as a reference to the black-capped chickadee, which is the state bird of Massachusetts, because you guys know by now how I feel about birds as a concept. Fantastic.
Yes.
So yeah, I've been doing that. It's been fun. I'm in the process of slowly redoing Garden 9 again, my little juice brand. That's kind of fun. And I'm trying to do more sports media graphics, like posters and social media banners and stuff like that, because there's a chance I might be working for my school's athletics department and doing design work for them next fall. So I'm trying to get my
That's fun.
skills sharpened for that. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah,
Dub.
that's everything.
You're stronger than me.
It only took 2.5 minutes longer than necessary.
Honda.
No,
He's
go
found
to
our
podcast
weakness.
jail.
Nintendo.
Oh no! Whenever he says Adobe, it's over.
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Micah, what have you been doing? Have you been doing Chipotle?
As of the last 5
You've
minutes,
been
I've pulled up a list of the top
whispering
100 brands. So I have more Gucci.
Gucci.
Oh my
Adidas.
I was waiting for you to go Hyundai.
Hyundai.
That's what it sounds like when they do the adverts. Hyundai.
Cisco.
Anyway, what else are you doing?
Except from whispering into your microphone.
Twitter. Okay. What I've actually been doing. I have been doing translation work. I know I've mentioned before on the podcast with a language in an area in Guatemala that's spoken about by around 20,000 people. It's called Sotujil, and it's something that my girlfriend is currently very invested in. And she's a linguistics person, and I'm not a linguistics person, but I've been putting together a dictionary interface for this. So I've been maintaining a database and getting to do some stuff like that I haven't really gotten to work on before. And I'm working on developing a second version of that, because the first version I built in a few days, and it's kind of a mess. So instead, I'm building a second version of that that's a lot more stable, and it has a lot more features for categorizing words by parts of speech and stuff like that. It's got English and Spanish translations, a lot of cool features like that. So that's kind of what I'm building currently. I'm also doing a little bit more maintenance on Offsides, which is my reverse engineered Yik Yak app for Android, since Yik Yak, the social app, abandoned their Android app and made it just stop working. So I've reverse engineered the iOS app, published it into a publicly available package that anyone can go and use to connect to Yik Yak, and I'm publishing it as an Android app.
Wow.
Nice.
And
You're on a roll.
so that's been out for a while. I'm kind of working on trying to figure out if I should try to get that onto the Google Play Store or not, because this app has a history of not liking people reverse engineering it.
So you're saying they're going to
Put it
sue
lightly.
you?
Yeah, like legal threats and stuff like that.
Cool.
So I have not received any of those, but
Yet.
I'm going to try to avoid receiving those. So I'm trying to debate on whether or not it's going to be better for me to just keep it as like an APK file that Android people can just download to their device,
Yeah.
or if I should risk it for the biscuit and get more potential users by putting on Google Play, but also receive, also that means I could potentially just be shut down permanently.
Someone
if
finally gets
they
sued. Nick
tell me
always
to
make a
stop.
joke about like us getting sued for stuff we
Please
do on the
don't-
podcast or
please
something.
don't
We
sue
finally
me.
have
Have
someone
I
sued.
ever brought up on here like how many like the fact that 3 different companies have sent me cease and desist letters for my Chrome extensions that I built?
No?
No.
It's not anything new to me. I'm kind of used to it by now.
Man.
I've built Chrome extensions.
Bro's
that people are not
escaping
fan
the
of.
law here. He's a
Man.
runaway.
This is the most
So true.
unhinged Micah has ever been on this podcast.
Extreme.
I feel like.
We finally
It's rare
broke
that-
him, I feel.
I think so. Man. What listening to the Worm Juice episode does to a guy, I guess.
The NFL.
Ah, the NFL. What's he doing? Anyway.
I don't have
okay.
any brand allegiance to it. That's not.
I've also, the most recent thing I've been doing as of like 5 minutes before getting on this podcast, I uploaded a fix to the Waste of Money for Android app that was caused. It fixes some major bugs in the software that were caused by yours truly, because the framework that I built the app with, that's called React Native, has been undergoing like an overhaul that's going to make it a lot better. Ultimately, it's going to be a lot faster, a lot less overhead, a lot less RAM usage, and it's called the new architecture for React Native, and it's a really neat update. However, I didn't do enough extensive testing after upgrading Waste of for Android to this new architecture, and that's what resulted in a lot of the weird issues that people have had that have been kind of inconsistent. and
Yeah,
funky.
I heard there was like
So-
people couldn't like stuff or whatever, but I had the issue where I
Yeah.
couldn't switch accounts,
Yeah.
which was kind of annoying.
I was not able to like messages
Yeah.
or open.
What was really
comments.
funny was, so like I saw your message like on Way Stuff saying, "Hey, don't update the app," and literally before I saw that message, I opened up the app and it said, "Welcome to the new version." It's like, oh,
Nice. That sucks.
Yeah,
Well,
that was
again,
pretty
this
funny, I
is
thought.
actually I can check right now. Let's take a look real quick.
Let me
and
check
see,
the Play Store,
if
see if I
they've-
can update it.
Nope. Their changes are still in review.
Google, hurry up,
Play-
man!
Wait.
Oh,
Hold up.
What?
Oh, it's published. It's published.
I'm gonna do the update.
Live Micah
Yeah, I'm gonna
reaction.
update myself now too.
Live TNC reaction to Waste of...
It got
mobile.
updated 30 seconds ago.
Man, that's crazy.
So
on
funny.
top of it.
Yo, it's up. There's the update. I don't know if you can see that on the screen very well, but the blue button's
I
update
can. Wonderful.
to the update. Boom.
Wonderful. That is great to know. Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, yeah. So, anyway, so it is, yeah. So that fixes an issue with the new architecture, and I'm kind of in contact a little bit with the React Native team about this, and about the team that develops the UI library that I use to build Waste Stuff for Android, and hopefully we'll get this resolved soon, so we can push out the new architecture once more and it not break things.
Nice.
But that's kind of all I've been
Well, I'm
up
happy
It's
to
really,
report it works right now
been
because
really
I
key.
have tested out and I can switch accounts completely fine. So, thumbs up.
Nice. Okay. Wonderful.
Common
All right,
Micah W
so
there.
I also don't know if this is kind of subtle and hard to notice, but I have also changed the animation between switching screens.
Oh yeah, I noticed it.
And
Yeah,
it should be slightly more smooth.
yeah. I was gonna say it looks.
Or it
You
should
don't
look
see like because
visually
like
a little
sometimes
more
when
smooth.
it tries to load stuff in, it's like stutters for like a quick second, like as it's trying to load the content. Whereas now it's a lot smoother. What's really good is especially on like I've got 120 hertz screens, so it looks really smooth. And
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've got a 90 hertz actually, not 120.
I mean, to be
tablet,
honest, 90 and
120
120, I don't think you can really tell the difference. I'll be truly honest, because my like tablet has 90 hertz and it virtually feels the same. So
Gotcha. Right. But yeah, that's all I've been working on really. It's been a pretty low key.
yeah.
Last month. So.
Well, we've also been
Very
learning about all the
cool.
top brands as well by whispering
Yeah.
them to us.
Yeah.
No, not again.
Uber.
No.
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 7-Eleven.
Micah, we can't keep doing this.
It's like,
FedEx.
that's like a relationship. We can't keep doing this, Micah. You cannot
need
just
to-
keep whispering brands in my name. in
Sean,
my
we
ear.
gotta like have an intervention.
Airbnb.
Micah, this is an intervention. We are
This is
stopping
an
you right now.
intervention.
We are taking
Go-
away your internet access. We're taking away your privileges.
Taking
but
away your
I just
Blue
found
Yeti
a whole.
microphone.
I just found a whole new. List of brands.
No.
No.
I'm on the Wikipedia page of list of brands. Just
Bro got
all
Wikipedia
brands.
out.
List of automotive fuel brands. Admiral Oil Company.
Anyway,
I'm just gonna go down this. Oh wow, there's so many
no,
oil
no,
companies. This
no,
is great.
please.
Really?
Have mercy.
Are there? Why don't you list all
Petrolina.
of them right now and whisper them all individually into the microphone?
Here we go.
in
Ready?
intervals
3,
instead of
2,
in
no,
10
ready.
seconds.
1.
Stop.
Access Fuels, Admiral Oil Company, Aquafria, Aldries Alliance, Allied Petroleum New Zealand, Allied Petroleum Hawaii, Elon, America, Amic Energy,
Okay.
Amoco, Ampol, Ampride, ANCAP,
Make it
APCO,
stop.
Oh my god.
Anomia
Make it
Petroli
stop.
Italiana,
You sound like
APCO,
you sound like
Applegreen, Argos, Asada Asker Oil,
You're
Atlansolia,
so close to the microphone
Iceland.
that the compression makes you sound like a automatic
A text-to-speech.
voicemail tone. You sound like an automatic like. Press
Welcome
3
to the
see what
O2
options you have.
voicemail.
Press 3 to get our lawyers.
Press 3.
Us.
Bucky's manufactures gasoline?
That's not terribly surprising. They are American after
That
all.
is, that is a little surprising.
Anyway,
moment.
this is a
Y-
podcast.
You know what? Whoever has to edit this episode, have so much fun with all my audio spikes.
Oh my
'cause they're gonna be
God.
real fun. They're gonna be real fun to deal
This
with.
has been a real fun episode to deal with so far.
So true. I can leave the list of automotive fuel retailers if you would like me to.
In case you need
I'll
to
have
come
to read
back
up
to
on
it.
that later.
Dude,
I'll need to read
I've
up on
got-
that later.
Instead, let's jump into what we've seen recently.
Man.
Yes.
We have Microsoft embarrassing themselves.
Again.
Man,
Who
again?
would have
Who
thought?
would have guessed?
That's so surprising.
Ooh, that's my head exploding. I'm so shocked. I can't believe it.
It's like the exploding hog's head.
Yeah, that Perrin
Yeah.
uses for his Discord icon.
Yeah, that's what it remembers me.
Yes.
I'm just like, I cannot believe this. Absolutely shocking.
Yeah, truly impossible.
Man,
Yeah.
never would have seen this
So
coming.
recall
Should I
is this feature that's. Oh, you recall.
Shall I?
You know
I'll
more about
recall
that.
what recall is. See,
I see what you're doing. Okay.
So basically, Windows Recall is a new feature coming to Windows 11. It is only coming to what they're calling Copilot plus PC, which is a very dumb name because you're going to be using the PC more than Copilot. It's not like you're just getting like Copilot and then Windows attached to it. It's literally Windows with Copilot slapped on the sidebar. But okay. Anyway, it's like the new Surface laptops are getting it. There's new stuff from the vendors like HP and Dell that are making these laptops. They basically have.
I only just now realized the other day that I had Copilot when I was trying to copy something, and I hit Start C instead of Control C.
All right.
And it popped out, and I was like, "What is?
Get
this?
away! No.
Go away! I don't want you."
I turned it off almost immediately when I got it. I was like, no way, I don't need this. No, thank you.
I haven't even found out how to turn it off. I need to work on that.
True. Yeah, so basically what the difference is, it's for PCs to have NPUs, which is like a neural processing unit. It's like a chip specifically for processing AI stuff on device. So anyway, Recall is meant to be this big new feature. What it does is it takes screenshots every few seconds of your entire screen and collates that into a timeline that you can go through to see what you did in the past, like from at any point in time. And the AI feature is you can search stuff, and it also, I think you can have it grab text out of images, so like it can like find like a link in like a picture and like go, here's the link, because whatever. But immediately you'll be surprised. You won't be surprised to hear, I imagine, that security experts went, "What in the world are you doing? You're literally taking screenshots of everything your users are doing at all times."
Man,
so that was great. A great idea.
I love it when major corporations accidentally install perpetual surveillance in my device without my consent.
It's pretty cool.
Solely
It's
for
great.
the purpose of let's add more AI to things.
It's AI though, so it's
What
cool.
do you mean this violates users' privacy?
It's AI. It's AI, so
means.
it's obviously good. Duh, that's how it works. But anyway,
so true.
yeah. So basically, and then it got worse because people were able to reverse engineer the recall feature to run on any machine. Basically, it's been cracked. You can run it on like any machine if you want. Then, secondly, someone made a GitHub tool that could extract all the screenshots from the folder in Windows that Recall uses. Also, that folder is not protected. It's encrypted, but the issue is it gets unencrypted when you're logged in. So as long as you're in like your Windows account, you can access the folder from Windows, like the Windows like System32 folder. And the plain text, the database that is used to kind of like add the timestamps and stuff is plain text, was not encrypted. And it's like, what are you doing? What's even funnier was as well, the GitHub tool was called Total Recall. That is just such a good name. That is so clever.
I think this is an interesting issue because it involves, there's two facets to it. There's the first facet that is Microsoft being greedy and trying to upsell people by claiming that this is a feature that only runs if you have this specific piece of hardware.
Yeah,
when in fact
it's not.
It's a feature that is basic enough that any PC can
the AI feature is such a minimal part of the actual feature because most of it is just Windows taking screenshots and saving it to a folder. It's not doing anything like remarkable.
Yep. So that's the first part of it, and I think that's
so. Not only is it
that's just a company move. It's
it's just
like people.
We need the stock price to go up. So if we say AI,
it's free money,
and it's also not like ultimately that move probably doesn't benefit Microsoft directly as much. But what it does benefit it, because let's be honest, Microsoft doesn't sell that many services.
No.
But what they do is they sell a lot of Windows licenses to Dell and HP and Lenovo and all these people who license out Windows. And by being like, hey, you need an NPU to run this software, they're going to earn a lot of money from new
users,
new vendors.
Yeah. But so it got worse as well. So then Microsoft had to make an announcement basically saying, look guys, all right, it's all encrypted, it's fine, what are you panicking about? And then they made some changes. So originally when this feature was announced, you had to opt out. You could not opt out from the system setup. So like when you first boot up a new Windows install, you go through like the setup screen. There's no option to turn it off. There's only an option to open settings and turn it off. It does not just have an off switch in setup. And most people who, when they buy any technology, do use the default settings. They do not change them. So this meant that for a lot of people, this was going to be a default feature. Microsoft said they're going to change that. It's now opt-in. And they have also now encrypted it with Windows Hello. So basically that means fingerprint or face scan or passkey. But the issue still, and this is the thing that is just stupid, is simply put, all it takes is for a scammer to connect through what do you call it, AnyDesk, these screen share softwares, trick someone into unlocking, recall, and now you have everything the person's ever done on the computer. And recall does not do content moderation. So that means if you open up your online bank, it doesn't censor it. There's a feature where it can block certain websites from being screenshotted in Microsoft Edge only, but there's no default list. It's not added like bank websites as defaults. You have to add it, which means most people are not going to do that. It's just such a incompetent launch. It's insane.
Man.
This also occurred to me. Why on earth? What that's such a massive storage waste.
Yeah.
You're storing a screenshot every 5 seconds.
Yeah, something like that. It's ridiculous.
I'm assuming it's based on something much less.
It's I think each one's 90 kilobytes or something. It's 90 kilobytes as per screenshot. It's compressed. But if you're using a PC for over a year, that's still going to be a fair bit.
And
of, screenshots.
Maybe it's
it's not that you can't clear that out. It's the fact that they want this to be the default to for you to waste storage on a feature that you're probably not going to use.
Exactly, yeah.
And is a massive privacy issue.
Yeah. And then in the end, Microsoft has postponed this feature altogether. They've not gave up on it, but it's not releasing. It didn't release with these new Copilot Plus PC products. So basically, there's no actual flagship feature. The only real big feature is it's now ARM based, so it's basically it's meant to be Windows kind of M1 moment basically, but it got overshadowed by this recall mess because it's just because even if this feature was completely safe, I still don't really see the benefit. I don't see the benefit. I don't really see how most people are going to be like, yes, I need to know what I did 5 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
really think most people need that.
Saving your browser history is for. That's what that's
pretty
for.
much. Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you lose all your tabs, but there's already features
in your browser
history. It's already as simple as
basically every program remembers what you do.
Yeah, this. Man.
For example, we're using Audacity here, right? We're using Audacity to record our audio, and what does Audacity do? You go to File, Recent Files, and it remembers every file you've opened recently, and you can just go back to it. It's not like we're somehow unable to remember or find stuff that we did in the past, because most programs are already designed to do these kinds of things.
I feel like one of the places this comes from is Microsoft wants to try to match the integrated feel that macOS has. MacOS, all the apps feel like they're integrated into the system. Windows, it's much more okay, you have a bunch of different apps that all have these individual features, and maybe they'll have them, maybe they won't.
Yeah.
Recall feels to me like an attempt to integrate integrate the apps into the operating system or kind of make them seem like they're integrated more. Being able to search across everything I've done in all my apps. What? That's cool. That on the surface, okay, yeah, maybe that seems cool, but practically I don't think it's useful, and I think ultimately it's a security risk that it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So,
also, on the surface, that's a very good unintentional pun, can I just say?
Okay.
I see.
Very nice.
But yeah, I remember when this feature was first announced, my immediate reaction was, what? Just what's the point? I don't get it. I genuinely don't understand the use case, because I've not still seen one use case from Microsoft where I'm right, I can see why someone would use this. Yeah. There's not one use case I can think of that actually make this feature worth all the privacy issues that it comes with. I just don't get it. It's such a pointless feature, I feel. And I don't know, because they said they're postponing it, but I feel like we're going to find in a few months' time there's
probably coming back at some point with basic safety features this time, but that still doesn't make it useful.
Most people are not going to turn it on. I don't. Yeah. If it's going to be opt out, most people don't change the default settings, and most people who use Windows as power users already know this feature sucks. So I don't even know who's going to use it. Basically, the only people who are going to use this feature are AI bros that as long if it has the word AI next to it, they will use it, and even if it's absolutely terrible,
Man.
But other than that, I don't see the point in it. It feels like Microsoft is just shoving features that they think will help their stock price, basically, at this point. Because the word AI
is it's not like their stock price is suffering right now.
But it can go higher. Yeah, we must make the line go up. It must go up.
Money line go up. Money line go up.
Line go up. Ooh. It's
Ooga booga money.
Ooga booga money. I'm going to quote you on that, Perrin.
Yeah. Best quote.
Well, let's go ahead and move on to something else that's a little bit lower stakes, I guess. But something that's still relevant, especially considering our collective past,
Our
and where we
roots.
all originally met.
Yeah.
Which is really wild when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we all met on the children's programming website Scratch, and it is actually wild to think that's where we originally met. And we have
Indeed.
known each other now for like what, at least like
4
It's been
years?
at least a couple of years. Yeah, like 4
4
years.
years
I
ago, yeah.
I got back onto Scratch in 2020, so it was about 4
Yeah,
years
same.
ago. Started
Same, yeah.
re-engaging.
I would say I got back on like
And-
2019, I think.
Yeah, I took a break in 2019 and came back in 2020 during the pandemic.
Man, crazy what the pandemic does to you. Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you go back to Scratch.
Man.
I'm going back.
Oh god.
But anyway, I'm bringing Scratch up because there's this new program that they're announcing called the Youth Advisory Board on Scratch, and it is this program. And I'll just read this little quote right here. Applications are now officially open for our new Youth Advisory Board program for Scratch. This program is designed to enable Scratchers to collaborate with the Scratch team, providing insights about Scratch from a youth perspective and contributing to the continued growth of Scratch. And that's from an official discussion post that was posted on the Scratch website by a Scratch team member.
Thank God.
And this is
Something.
yeah.
At long last.
Yay.
Someone is finally admitting that maybe the people who use Scratch might actually have something to say about.
Yeah.
Wait, hold
how
on.
Scratch
This is the
should be.
pig exploding head thing again.
Oh man.
I know,
Crazy
it's like
concept.
wow, user feedback. What if we?
What a
if we looked at
concept. What if
Ooh.
we like
that?
Ooga booga?
listened?
Feedback?
Ooh.
We're being so scathing this
I
episode.
know. I feel like we're in our
Exactly.
hater. We're in our hater era
hey.
right now.
Hey.
We're
This-
being
this
full
really
on
is the
hater
Burnout
mode.
episode.
This
I
is
think.
a, this is a
We're,
rare
we're
Scratch
on the Burnout
W. Let's
episode.
focus
Look,
on the
I listened to
positives
Kendrick
here.
Lamar's Not Like Us today, and that's why I'm in my hater mode right now.
Oh, okay. I see.
I'm in hater
yeah,
mode.
But so they announced this on July 1st, and I've been really interested to see how this goes and how much it'll actually change and any of the directions that the website's
Man.
going in.
I hope
Because the
I
consistent issue with Scratch has been that they don't really acknowledge at all. They cater so strongly to a very young, like 8 to 12 fan base that they acknowledge user base. Sorry,
Scratch has
8
fans.
to 12 user base.
diehard Scratch fans at 9
Scratch
years old.
fan. I love Scratch
so
Wear nothing but blue and orange.
love it.
Blue and orange. You mean purple and
Oh,
orange?
my fault.
Oh God.
Let's not get into
Let's
that.
not. Let's not get off the
that.
tracks. We already
Um,
complained about this already. We're like
but-
old men yelling at clouds.
So
Why'd they
true.
change it to purple?
Purple's a better color,
Yeah,
but
but-
not that one. Not in this case. Anyway.
No, not at all. But anyway, the yeah. So wow, I am completely off track now. I gotta reorient myself. Yeah. So I think that one of the problems with Scratch is that historically it hasn't acknowledged the fact that it has a strong community of users in the 13 to 17 age range.
Yeah.
That care a lot about the platform and would like to see it grow in a positive direction. And I think this is good because it's showing some more initiative in the fact that they're actually willing to, like, again, it says all Scratchers under the age of 18 who are interested in the program are encouraged to apply. But let's be realistic. The people who they're going to pick are not going to be 8-year-olds. And
Yeah.
10-year-olds.
No one
It's
wants to
most
deal with
likely going to
8-year-olds
be-
in a advisory
Exactly.
board.
8-year-olds don't have
Yeah.
good ideas. I don't think I've ever met an 8-year-old who's had anything like.
Oh my
legitimately
God,
that
we are
smart to
so
say.
being haters today.
I'm-
Oh my
okay.
God,
Yeah, goodness. Okay.
we are being
Apologies
so
to all the
ruthless.
8-year-olds out there, but maybe my standards are just too high. Maybe I just forgot what it was like to be 8. But man,
Yeah.
That was a
I
while
will say
ago,
when
to be
I was
fair.
8, I was dumb. That's for sure. I know that. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to 8-year-old me for feedback on how to.
Don't listen to me
moderate a
now,
website.
please.
Don't listen to me
Don't
now.
listen to me.
What do I know? I'm still dumb. I go on a podcast and have my co-host
I made a
whisper brand
we
names
made a
into the
podcast that
microphone.
explains everything.
Man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think this is gonna be interesting because it's gonna cater much more to that again, like 13 to 17 age range of more mature Scratch users, and I think it'll move Scratch in a good direction.
Really,
The concern I have about this. What were you gonna say?
I kind of really hope that they've actually listened to like older Scratchers and like be a bit more lenient in terms of like content policy, like the extent to which Scratch like completely disallows, like you can't even mention like other websites or apps that have social media on them is insane. You can't say Discord on Scratch without getting banned. It's insane. Like, it is technically speaking in the name of like, oh, we don't want underage children to go on the internet. We want to keep them safe and all. But like, at the same time, it's like being so needlessly restrictive for their large user base of kids who are 13 and are allowed on those sites and aren't too dumb to, not know what they're doing if they're on those sites. Like it's.
I feel like as long as you're not adding links to these websites, it's fine.
Is what I'm saying. Like some of their policies, and so I kind of hope that they like at least mention that and consider making some changes and being a tiny bit more lenient, because I feel like it goes needlessly strict in a lot of ways.
I'm interested to see how, like one of the concerns I have about this program is the fact that they're accepting up to 50 people for this first cohort.
Whoa.
So the Scratch team, who is historically been,
isn't it like the Scratch team
not good about user feedback in the first part and in the first place, and also overall like not being great at managing their product, like being very slow to release new features, being very slow to fix issues. You're going to get them to handle 50 teenagers?
Yeah.
Teenagers are like the worst, man. I knew because I was a teenager not long ago. Like teenagers are a nightmare to handle, man.
I'm a teenager for another month.
Oh.
Actually, by the next episode, I will no longer be a teenager.
Enjoy it while
it
lasts.
But I'm like, dude, I don't like practically how on earth are they going to handle 50 teenagers? And it's like the Scratch team. Yeah,
because
like they can't handle.
But also like
they can barely handle Scratch.
At the same time, kind of like I said already, you kind of want to see like kind of want to have younger people on the board just because it's a cool thing for kids to get excited about. But at the same time, like I said already, you have no clue how like smart or reliable they are. I
don't even think it needs to be like. I think the issue is not even like smart. It's more the issue of like. For as much as we rail on Scratch and like the Scratch team, like the actual task of trying to moderate a website like Scratch that's like got like 8-year-olds on it, it's a nightmare.
It's tough, for sure.
I have a Discord server of only like 90 people in it, and that's a nightmare to moderate. Sometimes. And that's not even got 8-year-olds on it. We've only got 13 and up. Yeah. And that's a nightmare already. So like I can somewhat sympathize with like the task that they are handed here to try and do. But like it's also, I don't know, it's this thing where it's like a double-edged sword. It's a good thing because I think listening to the people who are actually using your product is important to make sure the product is actually the best it can be for them. But also it's this thing of like how like it depends on, I guess, like how they're going to manage the board in terms of like what's the kind of thing that they're being told, like, hey, we're looking for you guys to kind of give us advice on like what is it, like policies, or is it more on like product features, moderation, like what is it they're really wanting to hone in on, kind of thing. I guess we'll have to wait.
That's another thing I would say we're just going to have to go kind of wait and see, because even on the FAQ that was posted, it's like, and or like the what is the advisory board, it says enable youth leaders within the Scratch Online community to collaborate directly with the Scratch team, providing insights from a youth perspective and contributing to the continued growth of Scratch.
That could mean anything.
That's kind of buzzwordy and literally
That
could mean
yeah,
anything.
that's just basically
Kinda
like
have to-
words. That's just words.
I'm kind of hoping that someone within the extended like Scratch Way Stuff Discord community will maybe possibly end up on there, or know someone who ends up on there, so we can kind of hear a little bit about what that looks like. But
Scratch just crashed
See,
for
I
a
feel
second
like-
there when I was checking the post. That's funny. It's
We'll see how it goes.
Scratch
It
crashed.
crashed for a second there. I was like, uh-oh, server troubles.
That's been happening a
I
lot
was
recently.
just looking the other day at my Spotify Live project to see if
Yeah,
it would function.
it's been crashing a lot
and-
recently.
Yeah, Scratch has been crashing a lot.
It's
But-
ever since
yeah.
they did like that scheduled maintenance update like a couple days ago. It's been like routinely
Chaos.
every like couple of hours, just like breaks for a couple minutes. Interesting.
Nice.
Hopefully this isn't
One of the- No, it is.
foreboding
One of the-
on the future.
They have an
of
8-year-old
Scratch's
on that
website.
advisory panel. He escaped and he's in the server room pulling all the cables.
Man.
That's my theory.
Uh,
It's a game
Perhaps.
theory.
A game theory. Okay.
Man.
But yeah, I guess we'll have to just wait and see on that. Hopefully it works out. It's certainly a step in the right direction, I'd say, in
am
general.
Fond enough of this
I just
website.
think 50 is
that, like,
maybe 50 is a little excessive. I think.
Yeah.
I think I should have gone with like 10 or 20.
Yeah.
It should be like whatever, like how many staff they have, like how many members of the
Mhm.
Scratch team. Half of the
Yeah.
Scratch team, basically. I think to start off with, and if
Yeah,
it works,
but-
then you can expand it. But who knows? Maybe it'll work out. We'll have to wait and see,
Yeah.
I suppose.
I've got enough fondness for this site that I legitimately hope that this makes things a little bit more enjoyable for the people using it. And like, it's a good site and a lot of memories. Met a lot of cool people. Made a podcast with a couple of cool people I met on
Yeah.
this weird site. So yeah, I hope this is good for the future of Scratch and good for the people using it. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. So
Let's talk a little bit about the thing that we love to talk
Mm.
about.
Let's continue our hater arc.
we're
keep
we're in
going.
our hater
Can I
arc.
say it? Can I say it since I'm on a
Go
roll?
for it.
I'm gonna
Go
say
for
as
it.
well. God.
Adobe.
Dun dun dun.
The
Need villain music
boogeyman,
for that.
the boogeyman of the design
Yeah.
world, Adobe.
Yeah.
So true.
Slenderman.
Sean, why don't you give us a brief overview of this, because I had not heard of this until today, and I've apparently been slacking on my news responsibilities.
Basically, yeah. So I'm not an expert. I mean, I'm not an expert in my own country's law, and this is about this is America that's suing Adobe, but I'll do my best. Basically, the DOJ, the Department of Justice, is suing Adobe in regards to I believe their cancellation fees. They believe that
Yes.
it's this thing where I think what they're trying to say is because Adobe doesn't technically hide any of their fees per se, like everything's technically in like their contract, but they intentionally try and make it as difficult as possible for the average person to understand.
Legalese.
This is legalese, exactly. It's a thing where they try and intentionally hide the fact that there's a cancellation fee, so when people actually want to cancel, they realize, oh my god, I have to pay like $100+ to cancel my subscription. Even though most people, it makes sense. Most people consider it like Netflix. You should be able to cancel at any time without having to be charged, because you're paying month by month, which is the same with Adobe. You're paying month by month. Most people are. Some people might pay yearly, but even then, you should be able to cancel, and then at the end of that year, it should just stop charging you. But Adobe decides, no, even though we're just giving you a digital good, you have to pay a cancellation fee, even though like there's not really any fee that they're incurring.
They're not giving you a digital good. You don't own it.
You don't
You
own
don't
it.
own it.
Sorry, Mike, sorry.
You're just
They're-
renting it.
Sorry, you're
Renting.
renting our digital product. It's not a good
Yeah.
because it isn't good. It sucks, but it is a product.
You're renting our digital asset.
Digital asset. That's the best way of calling it. Yeah, that's the brief overview. There is more to it. Like, there's a whole kind of like. There's a whole actual complaint which is like 26 pages and it's like got redactions in it. Looks like it's crazy, but
Love redactions.
I love redactions. It makes me feel like I'm like not meant to be reading something. Like, it's like this is a secret document that I've stolen from like the building or something. But
Man.
yeah, but they even have like a screenshot here of the kind of sign up page. this is like the plan selection page for Creative Cloud, and it shows kind of like how it's not clear about like the cancellation fees and whatnot. So that's the kind of main thing that they're complaining about. Because like here it shows you have to hover over like a symbol to actually tell you if you cancel after 14 days, your service will continue until the end of that month's billing period, and you will be charged an early termination fee. But it doesn't tell you how much that fee will be either.
It also
not very,
I will also
transparent.
say,
I believe it varies from user to user also,
Yeah.
and it's completely arbitrary.
I think they just make it
that's
up.
crazy.
How
The
much can we
moral of
rinse
the-
out of you?
Yeah, exactly. The moral of the story is that Adobe is going out of their way to milk as much money out of their users as physically possible.
Yeah.
Make it as like difficult to unsubscribe as possible. Like giving people like a financial burden just if they want to stop using their products, which I don't think is explicitly illegal, but like
It's more just
probably
deceptive.
should be.
The way
It's
they're
mostly
doing it
just
is deceptive.
sucky. It's absolutely deceptive because they're hiding fees. They're not like being upfront about how much it is. They're not like
Mm-hmm.
they're so vague with
It's
their
also
language.
just,
it's
like-
predatory at the end of the day, and that's what
I
the
also-
lawsuit is about. Is that
Yeah.
Adobe is effectively trapping customers into a deal that they don't necessarily want and didn't really have much agency in signing into because of all the legalese and stuff.
Yeah.
So
And it's just like to me,
Yeah.
I feel like it's dishonest because like it's not like
Absolutely.
Adobe isn't incurring a cost by having to cancel early. You've already paid. They're not losing money by you canceling, other than obviously your like continued payments. But there's no obligation. You know what I mean? It's like Netflix. It's not like you're paying. Like it's not like something where Netflix loses money if you cancel at a certain point in time. The only thing they're losing is just your continued subscription.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
the problem is like it's just dishonest. It's kind of sucky basically. It's not illegal, but it's just like annoying, incredibly annoying. And also the amount of money some people get charged is ridiculous. Like I've seen one that was like over $200, and it's like,
Yeah.
are you
It's
insane?
insane.
I would also note, this is interesting, that the Verge article on this, the comment section has over 200 comments.
Wow.
which
It's
is a lot of comments.
it's good
on a
when
Verge
there's
article.
200 comments. There's gonna be some good battles in there.
Yeah, for sure. So, I always have of nothing but ill wishes for Adobe.
So true.
Down with Adobe.
Hope you get
Down
sued,
with
Adobe.
Adobe.
I'm just praying.
Also,
praying
might as well
that
mention it.
Canva does not get
Greedy. Yeah.
subscriptified.
Yeah.
I will say though, at the moment, I will mention it. Affinity, they're currently doing a 6-month free trial. So
Yep.
Yes.
Affinity
so if you
is-
are
there's
looking
also
for design software,
I believe they also have a deal right now for the entire suite of their
They
products.
do.
So I'm not saying you should buy it, but what I am saying is they don't have a cancellation fee.
They do not.
Also,
'Cause
you
can't
actually
cancel
own.
because it's not a
You
subscription.
own the product. You actually own it.
Yep.
You can do what you want with it. Unlike Adobe, which you're renting a product that sucks and is slow and bad and it's horrible. And I hate that it's the industry standard because it sucks.
Mm.
I'm
So,
in my
yeah.
hair
But
arc right now.
for real, if anyone out there is looking for, we are not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
but
I would
Yeah.
please sponsor.
If you wanna
us.
sponsor us,
sponsor
Affinity.
us, please.
Please sponsor us, Affinity.
You don't even have to give us that much money. We know you.
Give
Give
us
me
anything.
5 quid.
Well,
and
actually,
I
no. You know what?
We're
You know
desperate.
what? Canva owns you now. Canva owns you now. You're
You
rich.
don't need money.
Affinity can come sponsor us.
Seraph,
but
give us
also,
money.
Yes, if you're looking for a
Man,
good design,
the amount of
software, if
free
you're trying to get started
advertisement
in
we've
design,
given Affinity since this podcast began is insane.
Yeah.
it's
free
because it's a good
promotion.
software, and they care about their users. They've got good feedback forums. Like
Yep.
Affinity is a company that Seraph is a company that I trust, but Seraph is no longer a thing, I guess.
Seraph
since-
still exists. It's just owned by Canva now.
Okay, it's just owned by Canva. Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
Well,
subject
I,
to change.
I feel like,
As-
and I will, and
as
this is
long
the thing.
as Affinity V2
I've said this in the
exists.
past. If V3 becomes subscription based, I'm not buying it, and I am calling out Affinity, and I'm not going to tell
Yeah.
anyone to buy it, because at the end of the day, their whole principle is that they are not subscription based, and they let you buy the product outright.
Mhm.
That is their whole ethos. If they don't do that ethos anymore, then the product is basically half of the reason people buy the product is no longer there.
Yep.
So,
But let's be completely fair to Affinity in the sense that they are currently owned by Canva, and Canva is a subscription service.
Yeah.
So if Canva and their shareholders force Affinity to go to a subscription
There's only
model,
so much
then
they
I'm
can
gonna be
do.
sad. Yes, there's only so much they can do. I'm not going to blame the Affinity
No.
team for that because it's ultimately up to the stockholders. But I'll also say that Affinity V2, I have not come across anything that I've been like, oh, this neat. Like since we got variable font support, I've been like,
that's it basically.
I can't think of anything that I've been like, oh, Affinity has
Yeah.
to have this. Like for a while, I was like, oh, we need mesh gradients. But honestly,
Mesh gradients
no,
aren't even
I
that
really-
cool. Maybe that's a spicy take
Yeah.
from me.
they
but
used
were,
to be super
They
popular.
were. There was a trend, and
nice.
it died out quick, and I never got on
Nice.
board. Partially because I didn't know how to do them, but mostly just because I didn't think they were that cool.
I still
Yeah.
use mine.
So
It's okay, Sean. Yours is
So-
great.
anyway, but we need to. But I think if Affinity goes under and ends up being subscription based, I'm just gonna stick with V2.
Yeah.
Like, I own the software for
And
like.
also,
It's not buggy. It works great.
but
I have no problem working
But
with all
at the
kinds of
same
files. Like, I'm just
time-
gonna use V2.
if they do become a subscription based, if they release enough features that I think, oh, I really want this, and this would be a significant upgrade, I would be more willing to buy it than I would with the Adobe.
If they did a
Because
thing,
they're-
actually, this would be a better
yeah,
way of doing it.
'cause, like-
Actually, if it was a subscription, but then there's the option to buy it outright as well, you could choose. So
Yes.
for some people, maybe they only want to use it for like a couple months. So maybe for them,
Exactly.
it's better just to use it as a subscription. Fair enough. But for me, I'd much rather just buy it outright because I know I'm going to use it for years upon years upon years.
Mhm.
I think that would be fine. But if they go full subscription like Adobe did after they switched from that model, then I would be inclined not to buy it just because based on
Yeah.
principle. I
When
rail
I-
on Adobe for doing the same thing, and
Yeah.
I'd feel kind of a hypocrite if I then gave Affinity a pass.
What
If
I'm
if
trying
they're
to
doing
say
the exact
is
same thing.
I have more respect for Affinity as a tool and as a company. So I'm
Yeah.
a bit more willing to trust them with my money because I imagine it would be significantly cheaper as a subscription compared to
I hope so.
the Adobe Suite. I cannot imagine
I would
they would
also
make it the
say-
same price.
I would also say that
Ugh.
even if they became subscription based, I would still use them because holy cow, Illustrator's interface is
Yeah.
It's horrendous. I used it
People
today for
forget that
something,
it's-
and it
it's
sucked.
just not as good.
It's
of
so
a-
bad. I hate it.
It's just not.
It's really
just
awful.
I
a-
used
So,
I had to
honestly,
use
I mean,
Photoshop
again-
the other day. My friend asked me to do something with it, and I was like, I can't figure out. I didn't think Affinity Photo could do the exact thing I need it to do, which is
Yeah.
a bit annoying. That is one thing. A photo could probably use some more features from Photoshop,
Also-
but still, it's a pretty comprehensive tool to be fair to it. But
Also, like-
I had to open up Photoshop, right, and it's so slow. It uses up so much RAM. It's buggy. It's slow. It's like this product is meant to be the industry standard, and it is so clearly
not
just
great.
cobbled together. It's this
I was able to
ancient-
run Affinity Photo.
Yeah.
I was able to run Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer simultaneously on a Dell Optiplex
Yeah,
Office PC.
my
from
old PC had the
2013.
HDD as like its boot drive, and it could run Affinity like it was nothing.
Man.
Like there's no problem. It has
think
no
it's
issues.
Also
Like I've never
worth
ran into a
noting,
problem with
like,
Affinity in terms of that.
I use Photoshop on occasion for stuff. Like I use my for mock-ups and stuff that I get from the
Yeah,
internet.
yeah.
But that's about it. I can do a lot of the effects that a lot of people would typically do in Photoshop, not even with Affinity Photo. I can still do a lot
In
with
Designer.
Affinity Designer just with what's built into
Well,
it. Which
I
is
even done this before.
insane.
If
It's
you
such
use if
a,
you have
like,
Publisher,
It's
for
such
example,
a versatile app is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Just within the one
Yeah.
app, it can do so much stuff that Illustrator can't do, or that Photoshop can, which is a completely
Mhm.
separate app. It's insane, fantastic.
Yeah, it's like Publisher. Like if you have Publisher, it literally has inside a Publisher. You can swap from Publisher into Affinity Photo and into Designer from that one app without having to open the other two. And it's basically almost the fully
And it's
fledged
also
apps instantaneous. It's insane. And like imagine if Adobe did that. Like we always talk about the integration between Adobe products, and that is true to an extent, but you still have to have all the apps installed on your computer, and you all have to open each one individually and jump around each program.
Yeah,
Whereas, imagine if there's one app, like one Adobe app, that could literally jump into almost every single app.
yeah.
like, I know that wouldn't be possible for everything, but like imagine if like all their like kind of design tools like Photoshop, Illustrator, Lightroom, etc. could all be combined into one, and that you could jump between all three of the apps without having to open another program, like Affinity does. That's insane. It's crazy.
The only like criticisms I see from people who are like concerned about making the switch over from from Adobe to Affinity is one, the learning curve, which is a problem for learning any software at all.
Yeah.
And like some of it's just like like a handful of features that are very specific that Affinity doesn't have that are like you can still do it, it's just in a different way, or it's like a little harder
slightly
to achieve
more
the effect you're going for.
Yeah.
But the only other thing I see is concerns about like being able to like fluidly integrate with like like a workflow where other people are using Adobe products and you're using Affinity. That's a lot easier than people make it out to be. Like I've done this past semester, I worked on my school's art and design magazine, and we were supposed to do everything in InDesign, and InDesign sucks. I can't stand it using InDesign at all.
Publisher is so much better, man.
So what I did is I didn't even use Publisher. I just made all of my pages and spreads in Affinity, exported the photos, and just plopped everything into InDesign, and it worked. Like I had to like manually
or
edit.
you can even export stuff. You can even export stuff from a designer in Adobe Illustrator format, and then place those into InDesign.
You can,
And Affinity is so clever now that it can do the opposite. You can open up an Illustrator file in Designer, and most times I've found that it's opened it almost identical to how Illustrator opens it. It's very rare there's conversion issues I've found, but obviously it depends on your use case. But still, it's not as hard as people make it out to be, and I think that's the issue. It's the same thing with like Google Chrome. It's like this thing of, how am I going to move away from the Google stuff? But it's like they basically all do the same thing now. You're not actually missing out on that much.
More
unless
than anything,
you're doing something
I think
so
it's
specific.
Just because Adobe has been so ingrained into like the design world and design culture, and because it's been the industry standard for so long, that like people just don't even like fathom the fact that there are other options that are comparable, if not better, out there, when there very clearly are. So the moral of the story is that Adobe is cringe. Get Affinity.
Basically,
trust me, it'll be worth your money, and you'll actually enjoy it, and you can still do all the things that you want to do. It's like
we love it when Adobe takes an L.
Win situation. Yeah. Also, Adobe's getting sued, and Affinity isn't. So there's that.
W. All right.
Yeah.
As of now, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I don't. What? I cannot imagine Affinity doing anything, even like remotely as like predatory as what Adobe's done. The most like tacky thing that they've ever done is charge for an upgrade that added a whole bunch of features. That's like the worst thing they've ever done as a company.
It's a fairly reasonable thing to do.
Which is
we
like
need money to keep making this thing, guys, please.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's hope Adobe gets sued. Come on, let's go. Take the L, Adobe.
Well, let's move on to the music segment because we're an hour and 10 minutes into the recording.
Yeah.
We're grooving.
We're grooving. I mean, that's probably because
Sean,
you kept listing brands. So,
whose fault is this really? For once, it's not us.
I know.
Canon.
Anyway,
everyone just probably imagine if you didn't know what Canon was and you just thought, why is he saying Canon?
Sean, what music have you been listening to?
So I've been listening to the new Charlie XCX record, Brat. You may know about it because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's Brat Summer, as we're calling it. Honestly, I get the hype. Honestly. I really like this record. So I've listened to Charlie's previous stuff, mostly her self-titled album and her Lockdown album, How I'm Feeling Now, and Crash. Wasn't crazy for Crash, but her other records are crazy because basically what she did mostly is she's been able to popularize things like hyperpop and this kind of futuristic sound that you've probably found other artists starting to take inspiration from. such as Camila Cabello, who recently released a record that was atrocious. It was like, Mum, can I get hyperpop? No, we have hyperpop at home. Hyperpop at home. That's how it felt. But anyway, but Charlie's somewhat moved away from that sound, and she's kind of going into this more kind of club sound, but it's still fused with like the hyperpop kind of vibes. Like, for example, her voice is like heavily auto-tuned, but like the way her voice is auto-tuned is very unique to her. It's very distinctive, and it makes the actual vocals better, kind of thing. Like, I feel like if you didn't have the auto-tune in her voice, it would sound worse. And it's not because she can't sing, it's just because it's this kind of aesthetic that it gives the music. But what I think I really appreciate about the record is, even though it's this like, it's full of club bangers, it's full of these tracks that are just infectiously catchy and make you want to dance, it's that it's woven with like actual meaningful lyrics. It's one of her most vulnerable and like kind of like honest records. She really does like talk about very serious subjects and kind of insecurities and things like that. For example, there is a track on it called So I, which is dedicated to a producer that she worked with called Sophie, who passed away a few years ago. And during that song, she does obviously sing the praises of Sophie, but at the same time, she also like bluntly says like, I wasn't a good friend to that person, you know, I wasn't around for them as much as I wish I was, you know, looking back. And it's that kind of thing where it's like, it's that thing where like you wouldn't expect that from a record that sounds so kind of like almost arrogant. It's this kind of thing where it's like the arrogance is the veneer that's kind of used, but then you've got like the kind of thing. It's like what Porter Robinson's doing at the moment, actually. You know, he's kind of got like the kind of meme like persona, but like when you actually listen to the songs and like the lyrics, it's very clear he's being very earnest and very honest. And it's kind of that vibe here I get with Charlie, you know. But it's such a catchy record. Even if you don't want to like get into like the lyrics of it, it's just a catchy album, man. There's so many good songs from like 360, Sympathy is a Knife, Talk Talk, Von Dutch, Everything is Romantic, Girl So Confusing, B2B, 365, tons of other songs. It's just a great record, and it's not that long. It's 40 odd minutes, and like most tracks are under like 3 minutes, so it's great. It's something that I've been waiting for, to be honest, because there's been so many pop records this year that have been so boring, and this is finally something that feels fresh and new. So, but yeah, that's what I've been listening to.
Yeah.
Sean, I'd like to give you a nice update on one of your favorite albums of all time.
Oh no, I know what this is going to be about.
Which is
it Nostalgia Critic's The Wall?
Taylor Swift's The Tortured Poets Department.
I'm still recovering from it.
Is on its 12th week at the Billboard #1 spot.
Why couldn't they give it to Billie Eilish or something? That record's so much better.
It's so much better.
I still listen to that record. It's such a good record.
That literally just like popped up in my like Google feed
so
right
good.
now.
So
I figured
painful.
I'd give you that pleasure.
2 hours of just pain. That was.
Anyway,
2 hours of pain.
I'm gonna try to be real quick about
Speed
this,
run.
as quick as I can, for a few reasons. Good grief, I can't talk. For a few reasons. I'm talking about Clancy, which y'all talked about last episode.
Yes.
Not the one that we failed to record, but the one before that. This record is incredible.
It's very good.
I own it on vinyl. I've listened to it like 100 times on vinyl. It's my top streamed album, I think, of the last 6 months.
Same. I've listened to Overcompensate so many times. It's so going to be my top song.
I listened
of the
to
year.
it, no joke, like 17 times the day it came out.
I listened to it more than that, probably, on the day of release. It was...
I would say I just had it on loop.
Because no joke, I was so anxious when like this song, like Overcompensate, was releasing, because I'm like, please, I need this album not to be like Scale and Icy. Like, I need something more. I need some meat on the bone, you know? Because Scale and Icy was kind of disappointing, and I really wanted them to kind of come back with like a massive, like, kind of explosive track like we got with Jumpsuit, and that's totally got. It was like, yeah, when the drums came in, like the fast drumming part at the very beginning of the track, my mouth was agape, and I'm like, oh, we're back. Oh, we're back.
We're back. So I would like to briefly give an overview of some of my thoughts.
Go for it.
You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through every single track and give like a 1 or 2 sentence thought about each track.
Okay. And then we can discuss it more when we do the tier list anyway, so.
Yes.
That's totally fair.
Which I'm about to talk about. Okay, so Overcompensate, again, massive opener, great sound, very big, like,
Paul
we're
Meany, you
so
legend.
back energy. Paul Meany's a legend. Next Semester. The idea of
Fantastic.
using ukuleles as the sole instrument is crazy
Yeah.
and something that only 21 Pilots could do. And it is really excellent. Again, production's great. Lyrics are heart-wrenching, and it's so good.
It's a top 5 song of theirs
Backslide.
for me.
It's one of their best written.
Semester's
It's
so
one of their
good.
best written songs
It
in a
is.
long time. I feel.
I'm a sucker for songs with storytelling, and Next Semester
Oh
does that
god,
really
yeah.
well.
It reminded me of the writing on
Backslide.
Trench, because Trench, that's the big thing for me. Trench has such great writing, and this song kind of emulates that so well.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Backslide. It was unpopular opinion, but I think it's a really, really good song. I really do think it is.
I think it's pretty
It took a while
decent.
for me to catch on to it, but the chorus breakdown is really excellent, and the music video makes it even better. Midwest Indigo. This one also took a little bit of time for me to get used to,
Me
but I
too.
actually really like the
same.
feel of it.
I really,
too.
I vibe
music
with it
video
now.
music video is such a vibe. It's great. Routines of the Night. First time I heard this, I was like, it was, yeah, total vibe. I can't even describe that one. The bass is great. I love blasting that in my car. Vignette is the most Trench song off of this album. I don't even care about Overcompensate. Like this is the most Trench song in terms of writing, in terms of
by
vibe.
the
It-
vignette. It's
yeah,
stuck
It's
in my
such a
head
good
now.
song.
It just in terms of like the random like the
I-
eagle sound effect in the background
Yeah.
and like the
This
the
is
ba,
this
ba, ba,
this
ba,
might
ba,
be
the harsh synths.
this might be a bit of a spicy take. I wish the drums were heavier on this track. It's like
Oh, no, I do too.
only
Yeah.
gripe is it would make it it would scooch it up from a 9 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10
That's why I
for
can't
me.
wait to see it live.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I want to see it
Yeah.
because
live.
that's what makes like tracks like
yes.
chlorine work is the drums. Like when that, like when it goes from like this, like the like no sound to like sipping on straight chlorine, the drums hit. It's like
Exactly.
you get like virtually taken aback.
Mhm.
It's so heavy.
We got Sean. You
The
and I
Craving
have
Jizz
to,
version.
We gotta cool our thoughts. We gotta save them for the.
Yeah, I know.
For the
I need to
little
hold
thing
back. I
coming
need to
up.
hold back.
The Craving Jizz version is also so sad
cute.
and very
Yeah.
some of the best vocals from Tyler Perry we've heard. Lavish. What can I say?
Your
except it's lavish.
proctologist. That line's crazy.
That yeah, crazy lines, super fun rapping,
Both
super fun
hands in
writing.
your
It is-
shoulders while you're
It is
bottomless.
it is underrated. I think
The beat's great.
people- okay, look, you either love it or you hate it. I love it.
Mm.
My girlfriend loves it. It's a great song.
Beat's
I'm sorry.
great.
If
I'm
you
not
don't
so
like-
sure about the lyrics for me.
Like Tyler said on the live stream, he said, "It's lavish. Deal with it.
Mm.
Fair.
Deal with it. It's good." Navigating, a
Navigating's
bass led
so good.
song
My,
like that with
oh,
a sick music
my.
video.
It's such a good
Yes,
song.
great,
Yeah.
excellent work. Snapback. This one took me a while to come around to, but I'm really it's sucker for like the dreamlike
Mhm.
vibe that it kind of
I
gives off.
love
It's really,
I love how it evolves
ethereal.
over the course of over the course of the runtime.
That's
I'm
the thing.
Such a big
What I
fan of
liked
the
about
way
it-
the instrumentation ramps up
Mhm.
and gets
And the
a lot more,
drums
like,
are so
frantic.
prominent.
Yeah,
The drums coming so
drums are so
well.
good.
Yeah, they're really well engineered on that.
It becomes like
Oldie
it
station.
gets so much like more frantic and more like
Mm.
almost like he is like trying to repeat this like the lyrics.
Well, it's
to
like he's
himself,
like
trying
he's
not
like
to
how,
have
like,
a
the
panic
chorus.
attack. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. Just a
Well, it's
little
like how he
bit.
says in the chorus, I feel like I'm about to break. It's like throughout the song, he gets
Yeah.
closer to breaking,
Mhm.
almost. That's what it feels like the song, like itself, is him
Yeah.
closer to
Such-
that breaking
I-
point. But yeah.
it's one of my favorites on that album, for sure.
Oldie Station, the one that almost makes me cry every time I listen to it. Incredible! What a bridge! What a bridge! Tonally, it's excellent. The first opening lines: "Only consistency in your periphery is fear in the bridge of your nose." How did he write that? It's crazy. It's great. I love this song. At the risk of feeling dumb, probably changed my opinions on it. Changed the most out of any song on the album because when the first time I heard that, I was like, okay, like it's pretty good. There's a good drop and stuff. But as I like listened to the lyrics and understood what the song's about, it hits a lot more for me
Yeah.
now, and I think it's actually like one of my favorite songs. on the
It
record.
slaps really
really
hard, but I can't get over the feeling that it's too on the nose and it's too like
Interesting.
very like simplified in terms of like the way it's communicating the message compared to like, for example, "Friend Please" off of Self-Titled, which is a lot more like vulnerable. It just it just feels a little too on the nose for my taste. I still like it. It still goes hard. Instrumentation is fantastic, but like
Oh, the
lyrics
drums on
just
it
a
are
bit too-
crazy.
yeah, the lyrics are just a little too simple for my taste personally. I still enjoy the song.
And finally, Paladin Straight. Can't go on this song without mentioning the music video, which is if you
Absolutely
haven't seen it,
bonkers, that one.
Excellent, and so fun if you follow the lore at all. But excellent conclusion to the album. I don't think it's quite the end, based on several factors that I'm not going to talk about now. But it is tonally, it is a song that sneaks up on you in that it starts off with this quiet ukulele, and by the time it gets to its climax, you don't even realize like how on earth did you get here to this point of like these massive synth risers in the background and stuff, and it's this very like massive climax to the album, and it works really well. And I'm a big fan of the little bonus track kind of at the end of it. Yeah. Those are my thoughts. I'm not gonna say any more about that album.
You'll see in a moment why.
Because we're going to do a live tier list of every 21 Pilots song.
We are indeed.
And
this isn't a bit.
When we're doing this, probably this month, maybe.
Hopefully.
That's what we're aiming for.
Like to.
We're aiming for this month to kind of make up for the fact we didn't do something last month, but we'll see. But we're definitely going to do it next.
We'll see how it goes. It's going to be very fun.
So,
seeing where
I feel like we're all going to tear each other
specific
to
albums
shreds.
lie. But man,
and what I'm also going to do is for the sake of actually getting through it, we're going to be setting a 2-hour timer, and I'm going to improvise some sort of punishment for us if we cannot get it done in under that time.
You have to listen to your least favorite 21 Pilots song.
Yeah. I feel like that's
you can only listen to your least favorite 21 Pilots song for the next 24 hours.
Oh my god. Bro.
Every time you listen to music, it has to be the song.
No.
I don't know.
God,
just a
that
thought.
Would be torture. That would be bad, yeah. Okay, that would definitely encourage me to get it done in 2 hours. I'm not...
Bro's gonna have to listen to Bounce.
We have to bounce. Oh god, that song. Yeah, but we shouldn't start talking about it.
Perrin, we're an hour and 20 minutes into the recording. Right. Perrin, why don't you
Okie dokie. So
take us out.
So the most recent new album that I've been listening to a lot is Illinois by Sufjan Stevens. We talked about his most recent album, Javelin, a little while ago, a couple months ago, when I listened to that the first time, so I'm trying to slowly go back through his discography and listen to other albums. I have not been doing a great job of it, aside from this one, but still, that's not the point. Suffice to say, Illinois is fantastic. It's widely considered to be, if not his best, is within his top 3, for sure. It's such a, unconventional album in a lot of ways. It's an ode to the state of Illinois, in case you couldn't tell by the title, but it does so in a lot of really weird ways, because it's songs that are about specific things that happen in Illinois, or historical events or people, and it's all done with, or it's even got personal memories of Sufjan's personal memories of living in or traveling in Illinois. It's such a heartfelt and deeply personal album. It's so good. There's a song that's about John Wayne Gacy, the serial killer, because he's from Illinois. There's a song about specifically a road trip Sufjan and his friends took to Chicago, which is really good. There's a song that's split into 2 parts. It's 6.5 minutes long, and the first one is about the Columbian Exposition in Chicago, and the second half is this one famous poet, Carl Sandburg, who was from Chicago, visiting Sufjan in a dream, and they're just talking over the creative process of writing impactful lyrics and stuff and words. It's so well done. It's such the instrumentation is a lot of guitar and piano and strings, but it's also got a lot of woodwind sounds and viola. It's very it's not cinematic at all. It's difficult to describe, I guess, but it's very it's very upbeat some of the time, and incredibly slow and sad others. There's all kinds of short little musical interludes. There's one song that's just 7 seconds of applause that's leaking over from the previous song. That's what is it exactly? It's one last woohoo for something. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was a specific Illinois reference. But it's 7 seconds of applause is one last little woohoo for this one little Illinois thing. It's great. It's such a good album. Fantastic. Highly recommend it. I'd say my favorite tracks from it would be Come On Feel the Illinois, What's the other one? Chicago, of course, like I mentioned. The Man of Metropolis Steals Our Hearts, which is a song about Superman, because Metropolis, the city that Superman fights crime in, is based on Chicago. And what's the last one? Oh, the predatory wasp of the Palisades is out to get us. All of those fantastic
I love
songs.
I love his
Yes.
song titles.
He's
So
such
good.
he's great. He's such a good songwriter. He's such a good musician, and his sense of humor shows in this album at times too. But yeah, highly recommend. Fantastic.
Nice. I think we've done it.
We did it.
I think we've done it. We're a long time into this episode.
No thanks to
Oh,
you,
we did it.
Micah.
No thanks. You and your
thanks to
brand
me. What are you
ASMR.
talking about?
You
I
wasted at least 3 whole full minutes of our time whispering brands into the microphone.
Well, considering that it is midnight for Sean right now,
It's fine.
let's
Sleep is
kind
for
of try
the
to
weak.
wrap up. Like, sleep is for the weak.
Mm.
Exactly. And again, we will have information about the Tournament Pilots live stream.
Be ready for that because
On
we are so
Be ready.
going
all of
to
our
fight
social
each
media
other over this. I
platforms.
think it's
It's
going to
gonna
be
be
hands
so
thrown.
fun, dude. There's gonna be a lot of hot takes and a lot of contested.
Oh god.
We're gonna need
I'm
to
sure.
figure out like a standardized method of averaging out our scores if we have like wildly differing opinions on like a specific song. This is gonna be
Since
weird.
there's a time limit and there might be a punishment, I'm thinking we're all going to have to like concede at some point and say, okay, fine, just
Yeah.
put it in that tier. I don't care. We need to get on, move on.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of like very aggressive diplomacy on this
Yeah.
21 Pilot song ranking for sure.
Aggressive diplomacy is a great.
That's such a
is
good. That's a great
I love that.
phrase. But yeah,
Awesome. Well, for now, we will leave you be and keep an eye out on social media to find whether it's waste of money or Instagram or I would say Twitter, but we've left Twitter.
So sad.
Any of our social media platforms that you can find at
bio.link/TNC.
bio.link/TNC.
You're welcome.
I completely mind blanked for a second. Yeah, bio.link/TNC is where you can find all of our podcast links, and you can find us on other streaming platforms as well.
We're around.
You can find me at michaellinley.com. You can find Sean at seanjw.com.
Yes, and Perrin.
And you can find Perrin
Here we
at
go.
making fun of me for this.
perrin-designs.myportfolio.com. Nope,
No,
I
not
don't
your
have
stuff.
money. I don't have money to buy a domain.
It's $12 for 1
I
year.
don't have money.
Trust me, you have $12.
I am in. Technically speaking, right now, I've got negative $39,000.
We love
I
college.
love college debt. Anyway,
Yeah.
yes, you can find me
Um,
at Perrin.designs / no, Perrin-designs.myportfolio.com. That's me. Or
Yes.
on Instagram
Wonderful.
where I don't post, and I'm trying to get on that. Or on Dribble where I don't post, trying to get on that. Bayhunts where I do post, but only every couple of months. So, yeah.
Indeed. Well, I'm Micah,
I'm Sean.
And I'm Perrin.
and we will see you in the next episode. Actually, no, we'll see you in the live
We'll see you at the
Then
live
we'll see
stream.
you
It's going to be lit. Shake things
Yeah.
up a little.
Yeah, we're gonna fight each other after that.
Man.
next. Okay. Goodbye.
Farewell.
Bye.